This is about learning journals, structured learning journal versus an unstructured learning journal. And mind you, journals come in so many different shapes, sizes, and forms, and not just within paper, right? The uses of them come in so many different options. I mean, you may remember that your very first little journal came with dates, right? Do you remember getting one of those 1 year long and it had all the dates at the top? That would be a structured journal. However, when we talk about structured and unstructured journals, we're going to look about how they are used within themselves. What is the internal quantity and what is the internal quality of the inside of that journal? And that's what's going to really help us to differentiate between the different types of journals. So looking at structured versus unstructured journals, think of it more like a continuum than being part of two different categories, right? So you're going to maybe have it a little bit structured, maybe not quite so structured. So an idea of one that would be more toward the center is something that's going to be structured at the beginning. It's going to be fill in the blank. You're going to fix this, this, and this. You're going to look at that, that, and that. However, the rest of the journal is going to be more free-flowing. An unstructured journal, think of it kind of like free writing or brainstorming. You don't have any real definite guidelines. There aren't questions to answer or anything like that. It's just freely moving. There are no rules. And you can use it in any kind of way, however you are expected to write in it. And maybe the guideline would be more you have to write in it for a particular amount of time. When we look at structured journals, we're going to look at how you can use it in a specific manner. It was addressed and created for a reason. So a structured journal is going to look at a way that it's going to be specifically used. For instance, maybe the structure has an exercise. It may have a set of questions. It may have activities. So when you think about this kind of a structured journal, think about a research journal or when you sat in a lab and you were given several questions that you had to answer. That was a way in which a structured journal is used. Another way is to really look at or accompany a learning experience. And you may want to look and see about how you can do that. Maybe you're using it within a project, or maybe you're using it within research. Maybe you're investigating different learning styles, or you want to look at anything in particular. You decide, but it has a purpose and it's going to go along with that designated learning experience or purpose. The next way is that maybe it's going to be part of a portfolio. And this is an excellent way to use a learning journal. It's going to really not just look at what you've done, which is a gathering of documents, but it's going to demonstrate how you have grown. It's going to contain that reflective writing that's really going to say, this is where I started and this is where I am now. Another one is for communication. Communication is an excellent means to really be able to investigate and look at our opportunities to learn, to grow, and to really be able to increase that ability to talk to other people. So within a communication journal, it's also called a dialogue journal. This is really going to be an exchange of information between one or two writers. For instance, maybe it's going to be a dialogue between a parent and a child, or a teacher and a student, or between group members. Next, we want to look at autobiography. Of course, this is probably a very common way that we are going to look at a learning journal. It's really going to look at how you were and your current time frame, and it's going to follow a life or it's going to follow a particular experience within one's life. Next, we're going to look at sections. So what are sections? It's where we're going to divide the learning journal up into itself. So there are many different ways to look at this. So one thing you may want to do is look at the sections as this is the experience, this is the reflection on the experience. Or maybe the section is going to be more of, okay, this is how I'm approaching learning within science, this is how I'm approaching learning within writing. Lastly, Cornell Notes. Cornell Notes. I really like Cornell Notes. So Cornell Notes is kind of like a double entry journal. And the idea is that you're going to take your notes on one side of the page. And then what you're going to do on the other side is you're going to then look at any kind of conclusions. You're going to bring your personal reflection into it. You're going to look at emotions. You're going to make any kind of connections that you have to previous information. This is a phenomenal way to be able to really embed information and to be able to use it and apply it.